Welcome to our today's lesson in English, my viewers and my fellow colleague teachers. Today I'm going to take you through a grade 7 English lesson on the strand pronouns. And under the same pronouns, we are going to look at the sub-strand subject pronoun, object pronoun, and possessive pronoun. Feel welcome and participate to the end. Enjoy and learn more about pronouns in our strand of grade 7 English today. Now in this our lesson, our strand pronouns, what are today's specific learning outcome? The specific learning outcome for this lesson is that by the end of this lesson, each of my learners should be able to define what a pronoun is. After defining a pronoun, it is expected that you should be able to correctly use subject pronouns, object pronouns, and possessive pronouns. So you should be able to use them correctly, each of those three pronouns that you are going to learn today. Then the last but not least of the specific learning outcome is that each of my learners should be able to appreciate the use of pronouns. Having known that, let's move together, enjoy our lesson, and get the best of the content in our today's English lesson for grade 7, which can also be of benefit apart from grade 7. It can also be of benefit to grade 6, grade 5, and even grade 8. Feel welcome and enjoy. Now, just before I come to our today's subject matter, which is pronouns, I would like us to go through what we learned in our previous lesson, because it will be of great benefit to give us the foundation of what we are going to look at today, which is pronouns. In our last lesson, we looked at the strand of active and passive voices. Under active and passive voices, there is one part which is going to be helpful today that I would like us to go through, remind ourselves what it is, what it was at that time, and what it is now, so as to move forward together. Now, in our last lesson, under the same strand of active and passive voices, we looked at three important parts that make up a sentence. And these three important parts that we looked at in our last lesson are the subject, the verb, and the object. These three parts are very, very important, as they will guide us not only in today's lesson, but in very many other lessons to come in our English. What did we say that a subject is? Try to figure out, can you remember what a subject is, what the verb is, and what an object is, particularly when being used in a simple sentence construction. We said in our lesson that a subject is a noun that does the work. A subject is a noun, any noun that does the work or performs any work or any action. That noun is referred to as the subject. Alternatively, we can also say that a subject is the doer of an action. A subject is the doer of an action. What do I mean by the doer? It simply means the noun doing the work. And I can give an example in a sentence, like I can write here one. I have my sentence here. Tom is looking at the teacher. Tom is looking at the teacher. Now the subject is the noun doing the work. The person or the thing, that is the noun that is doing the work, the doer of the action. And in our case, Tom is looking at the teacher. Tom is the one doing the work. So Tom is the doer of the action. And here Tom becomes our subject. I can give another example, the second one. In the second example, boys have played football. Boys have played football. And as I've said, and as I said earlier, subject is the noun doing the work, or subject is the doer of the action. Boys have played football. The doer of the action here, the noun performing action here, is boys. Therefore, boys becomes our subject. Boys as the subject. And which action is being done by these boys? Boys have played. So the action or the verb in our case is played. Then in our first sentence, Tom is looking at the teacher. Tom, we have said, is the subject. Then our verb or our action that Tom is performing is looking. Number 3, the last example. A cat poured milk. We look at the noun performing an action, and in our case, sentence number 3 is a cat. This cat is the noun doing the work or the action. Our subject because it is the doer of the action. Then in the same sentence number 3, the action that we have here is poured, which is the verb. We now have our subject, the doer of the action, and the action itself, which is the verb. In each of these 3 sentences, we've looked at the 2 parts that we learned in our sentences in the previous lesson. We have the subject, we have the verb or action. Then the last part that we learned as 3 important parts of a simple sentence, after subject and verb, we have object. And we said object is the noun on which work is being done, or the receiver of the action. That is our object. So object is the receiver of the action, and if we look at the first case example of a sentence, when we look at it, we can see that Tom is looking at the teacher. Tom is looking at the teacher. Tom, as we've said, is the subject. Looking is the verb that we have. Then teacher is the object, the receiver of the action. That is a noun on which work is done. So in our first sentence, the object is the teacher. Then in the second sentence, the object in our sentence, the receiver of the action here is football. Boys have played football. Boys as the subject, have played as a verb, and football as our object. Then in our last sentence, a cat poured milk. A cat poured milk. A cat is the subject, poured is our verb, and milk is our object. Hope now we can very clearly remember the three parts that we learned last time in our previous lesson: subject, verb, and object. Now, getting this and putting that into consideration, meaning that we are at par, I want us now to look at another a small part that will be also very important, and we shall use it throughout the next part of this our lesson. This part that we are going to look at is what we refer to as, in English, we usually learn and talk about first person, second person, and third person. What does that mean? We have first person, second person, and third person. Now, when we talk about first person, also we have they are arranged in singular and in plural. Each of them, the first person, second person, and third person, they are all arranged in singular and plural. Now, what does first person mean? What does second person mean? And what does third person mean? If we talk about first person, it means the person who is speaking. Like in our case, I can say I am the first person because I'm the one speaking. So if I take it, first person singular, it is one person who is me. The pronoun that I will use with first person singular is I, the pronoun I. When I come to first person plural, it means the person speaking, they are now in plural, there are many, two or more people. Then I will use the pronoun we. This means under first person, we have pronoun I in singular and pronoun we in plural. And remember, first person is the person speaking, denoted by the pronouns I and we. When I come to second person means the person next to me. So this is the person that I am talking to. The person I'm talking to is the second person because this person is not far from where I am. Therefore, I can address that person directly because this person is close to me. And that is why it is called, this person is called the second person. In singular, for the second person, we use pronoun you. And also, in plural, for the second person, I'll use the pronoun you. For instance, I can say, you are talking. You are one person and you are close to me. You are talking to me. You are listening to me. You are watching me as I am talking. You are close to me. That is why you are referred to as the second person. Then when we come to third person means the person that I'm talking about. And this person is not close to me. This person is away from where I am, and most likely I'm not even able to see this person. This person is far from me. And which pronouns are used when we refer to third person? And the third person singular, there are three pronouns. The first one is he, that refers to a masculine or male person. Then we have she, referring to female person. And lastly, we have it. It refers to an animal or an object which does not have life. Therefore, take note that in third person singular, we have he, she, and it. Then there are plural forms. The plural forms of he, she, and it are they. So first person singular, I. First person plural, we. Second person singular, as I've said, is you. Let me indicate. As you can see, first person singular, we have I. You can see on your board. Then plural, we have we. Second person singular, we also have you. And plural of second person, we also have you. When we come to third person singular, we have he, she, and it. Then third person singular, we have they. The use of first, second, and third person in both singular and plural play a very critical role in the types of pronouns that we use, that we are going to use, and we shall continuously be using as long as we use English. So take note, I repeat, first person, it means the person speaking. Like in this case, I am speaking, so I am the first person. If we are many people speaking at the same time at the same place, then we use we as first person plural. We are talking, we are here, we are the ones presenting. When I come to the second person is a person close to me. The person that I'm talking to, the person that I'm addressing, and this person can hear me or can get me. And the pronoun used with second person, both in singular and plural, we use you. For example, I say, you are looking at me. You are listening to me. You are talking to me, be it in singular or in plural. You are here, you are one person. You are here and you are many people close to me, and I am addressing you. Then third person means a person who is not close to me. This is the person I'm talking about. Maybe I'm thinking about that person, or I'm referring to that person because this person is not close to me. And the pronouns used in singular, we have three: he, she, and it. For example, if I talk about my brother who is not here, I am here alone today. If I want to refer to my brother, I will say, he called me yesterday. He came to my place yesterday. I'm referring to my brother. I cannot be referring to my brother who is not here and I say you. It will be wrong because my brother is not here. I will say he. In case I want to talk about my sister or my mother, I will refer to my mother as she, because as I'm talking now, my mother is not close to me. I'm talking about somebody who is somewhere else. Therefore, I use the pronoun she. I'll say, she is preparing lunch now. That is in reference to my mother. She is preparing lunch. I want to talk about an item that I have, an object that I have. For instance, let's say I want to talk about my pet, my cat. Where I am now, I do not have my pet here. Maybe my dog or my cat, or maybe a cow that belongs to me. I will say I want to refer to my cow or to my dog. I will say it was healthy when I was coming here. I left it when it was healthy. I'm referring to it, an animal or an object that does not have life. So in singular third person, because it is not close to me, I will use it. Then the plural of third persons, the plural becomes they. Suppose I want to talk about my sister, my brother, and maybe my dog. I will say they are all at home. They are all at home. They are not here, referring to the third person. Now, having known that, the first, second, and third person, and having reminded ourselves about the subject, verb, and object. We can now look at today's matter or substrand under the strand of pronouns. We look at what object pronoun is, what subject pronoun is, and what possessive pronouns are. That will now be our core issue for today. Welcome. We shall start by defining a pronoun. What is the best definition of the word pronoun if you are asked? A pronoun is a word that is used to replace a noun. And remember, all along from grade 4, grade 3, we've been learning by defining what a noun is, and we've been saying that a noun is a naming word or a name of anything. Like maybe I can say a felt pen, a class, a room, a phone, a name of anything, whatever you are able to name, that is a noun. So if you want to replace that noun, you do not want to use it, then what you use in the place of a noun is referred to as a pronoun. And there are very many examples of pronouns, as you can see on your screen. Examples of pronouns are I, you, me, he, she, it, they, him, her, them, our, ours, theirs, their, among others. It means there are more or many more other pronouns that I have not listed there. But as we go through this lesson and more other lessons to come, we should be able to know all examples of pronouns and all types of pronouns that are there in English. Now, under pronouns, again, I've given those examples, and those examples are mixed up. What does that mean? It means that these pronouns fall into different categories. And that is why in our substrand, we've seen object pronoun, subject pronoun, and possessive pronouns. This means there are many examples of pronouns. But in our case, at our level and in our lesson today, we shall look at these three types of pronouns. But there are more others that we shall look at them later. Now, under these three pronouns, after defining what a pronoun is, we need to know. Now, a pronoun is a word that is used to replace a noun, or a word which is used in the place of a noun, and we shall replace nouns today in this lesson. Now, what is an object pronoun as a type of a pronoun? What is a subject pronoun as a type of pronoun? And finally, what is possessive pronoun also as a type of a pronoun? We shall start with subject pronoun, and we shall define it. Subject pronoun. Why is it called subject pronoun? Before I define it, I want to give another name for subject pronoun. Subject pronoun is also called personal pronoun. And it is also called nominative pronoun. So if you get somewhere it is written personal pronoun, or nominative pronoun, or subject pronoun, or subjective pronoun, all those four names mean one and the same: subject pronoun. Therefore, remember those four names: subject pronoun, or subjective pronoun, or personal pronoun, or nominative pronoun. Now, why is it called subject pronoun? The answer is very simple. It is called subject pronoun because whenever it is used in a sentence, this pronoun takes the place of a subject. I repeat, why is it called subject pronoun? It is called subject pronoun because it is a pronoun that when you use to replace a noun, you only replace a noun which is in the place of a subject, meaning the doer of the action. Remember, the subject in a sentence is the doer of an action. It is a noun. And also an object, which is a noun, is the receiver of the action. Therefore, while replacing a pronoun with a noun with a pronoun, make sure you know, is it taking the place of a subject in a sentence, or is it taking the place of an object in a sentence? As I've said, if it is taking the place of a subject in a sentence, then you definitely replace that noun with a subject pronoun, and that is the reason why it is called subject pronoun. Examples of subject pronouns or personal pronouns or subjective pronouns or nominative pronouns, they are 7 in number. The personal pronouns or subject pronouns are I, we, she, you, it, they, and he. They are 7 in number. I, we, she, you, it, they, and he. As you can see on the screen, those are the 7 personal pronouns. And those 7 personal pronouns are also categorized. They have just written, but they are categorized into first person, second person, and third person. And with that, you can now see why, as I said earlier, it is important for us to look at first person, second person, and third person in their singular and in their plural. Now, I is first person singular, whereas we is first person plural. When I come here, in the second person singular, we have you. Second person plural, we have you. Then when you come to third person singular, we have he, she, and it. Remember, he is used for a male person or human being, she for a female person, then it is used for animals, to refer to animals or non-living things. Then the plural of personal pronoun or subject pronoun for that third person is they. This is how we use our subject pronouns. Now let's look at examples in sentences, how we can get sentences and replace the nouns in our sentences with subject pronouns. Remember, I've said when you replace with a subject pronoun, that noun must have been used in the place of a subject in a sentence, and a subject is the doer of an action. Let's look at some few sentences, examples, where we can get them. Like we have the first one, where we say, we can talk about my mother and explain what my mother is doing. Like now in our case, I can say, let's talk to my father. My father has gone to town. My father has gone to town. Which noun there is the doer of the action? The noun is my father, and my father is a male person. We shall replace the noun my father with he. Therefore, we change it and say, he has gone to town. Sentence number 2. Jane will be reading a nice storybook. Jane will be reading a nice storybook. The subject, the noun there in the place of subject is Jane, and Jane is a female human being. Which pronoun do we use? Which pronoun do we use? The pronoun that we use here to replace the noun Jane, which is the subject, is she. Therefore, we shall say, she will be reading a nice storybook. She will be reading a nice storybook. Sentence number 3. The cow ate grass yesterday. The cow ate grass yesterday. We look at the noun in the place of a subject, which is the cow. And as I said, we replace an animal or a non-living object with the pronoun it. Therefore, the word or the noun cow will be replaced by the pronoun it, and we shall say yesterday. The next sentence, Reuben runs as fast as lightning. Reuben runs as fast as lightning. The noun there in the place of subject is Reuben, and you can see we have there two nouns. We have Reuben and we have lightning, but we are replacing the noun which is in the place or position of a subject, that is the doer of the action. And Reuben is a male human being or a male person, so we replace with the subject pronoun he, and it becomes he runs as fast as lightning. He runs as fast as lightning. Next, dogs barked yesterday. Dogs barked yesterday. The noun there in the place of a subject is dogs. Remember, dogs, a dog is an animal, and I said an animal or a non-living object or a plant, we use the pronoun it. So for a dog, we are supposed to use it. But again here, we have been given the word dogs. It is in plural. So it moves from here, where we have the pronoun representing trees, animals or plants, and non-living objects. Then we have its plural. The plural of animals, plants, and non-living items is they. Therefore, dogs barked yesterday, we shall say they barked yesterday. We replace dogs by that pronoun they. Then finally, James and Goliath are laughing. James and Goliath are laughing. In the place of subject, we have two nouns, James and Goliath. What are they doing? They are laughing. James and Goliath. Those are two. When we look at our first, second, and third persons, singular and plural, James and Goliath, they are human beings. And if it were one, we could have said James for a male. If it could have been a female, we could have said she. But here there are two human beings, James and Goliath, meaning it takes us to third person, but now plural, where we come to they. Therefore, where we are given that James and Goliath are laughing, the plural for third person pronoun will be they. We therefore say James and Goliath are laughing. That brings us to the end of subject pronoun. We've known the meaning, what it means. It comes from the position where the pronoun is used in our sentence, the position of the subject. Hence the name subject pronoun. And with that, after having known the subject pronoun and after getting the subject pronoun, we move to the second part that we learned in our last lesson on parts of a sentence. Subject is the doer. Then we come to object, which we said initially earlier on that it is the receiver of the action. That one will now take us direct to this second one, object pronouns. So the second part after subject pronoun, we come to object pronoun. And what is object pronoun? Object pronoun is a pronoun that is used in the place of an object in our sentence. And you can get maybe somebody calling it object pronoun, and elsewhere it will be referred to as objective pronoun. That means the same, object pronoun or objective pronoun. This is a pronoun which is used in the position of an object in a sentence. Now, what are some of the examples of object pronouns? Because we've said these are pronouns that are used in the place of an object to replace a noun which is in the place of an object. And remember again, even that object pronoun is categorized into first person singular and plural, second person singular and plural, and third person singular and plural. Another important point to note under object pronoun is that object pronoun usually comes after a verb or a preposition in a sentence. Object pronoun usually comes after a verb or a preposition in a sentence. Now let's look at some of these examples of object pronouns. Now, this one was subject pronoun. Then we come to object pronouns. And under object pronouns, I would like us to look at them again under first person singular plural, second person singular plural, and third person singular plural. Then we look at them here. Which ones will they be? I will interchange. I rub the personal or subject pronoun and I replace each of them with an object or objective pronoun. And I'll be using examples. I've said first person is the person speaking. Like I'm now the first person because I'm the person speaking. Now, under object pronoun, I can give an example and tell you, give that book to me. Because I'm the first person here, I'm the one talking. And I'm talking to somebody else. Give that book to me. Therefore, under first person here, object pronoun will now become me. Give that book to me. That is if I am one person. What about if we are many? Give that book to us. So the object pronoun in singular first person it will be me, then plural first person it will be us. Then second person as said is the person next to me. I want to give this duster to you. Remember I said again, objective pronoun comes after a verb or after a preposition. You have those object pronouns. Now, I want to give this felt pen to you. That is second person singular, then second person plural. You are very many people. I want to give these now 2 pens to all of you. After that, we come to third person singular. Remember, under subject pronoun, it was he, she, and it. We are now here. I want to give to somebody who is not close to me. Let's say I want to take this pen to my brother who is at home. I will say, I will take this pen to him. If it is my sister, I will give this pen to her, to my sister. Remember, my sister is not here. If I want to get this pen to my pet, to my dog, or to my cat, then I say, I will give this pen to it. So you can see our third person singular in objective pronoun is him, her, and it. What about now third person plural? In third person plural, it will be them. I will give this pen to them. They are not here. They are very far from where I am. So I will give this pen to them. Now, these are the examples of objective pronouns. Let's go to our examples of sentences and look at how we can replace nouns, that is, nouns in the position of object. We replace them with pronouns. Examples that we have in our sentences. The first one, my father has bought a cow. There we have two nouns. We have my father, which takes place of a subject in a sentence, and the second noun is a cow. Now a cow takes position of an object in our sentence, and so we say my father has bought it. Remember, a cow is an animal, and the pronoun for animal or a non-living item, we use it. Therefore, my father bought it. Number two, Jane Ross visited Agnes. Jane Ross visited Agnes. The noun in the place or position of object is Agnes, so we say Jane Ross visited her. Number three, this cow kicked a boy. This cow kicked a boy. We have the first noun there in the place of subject, this cow, and the second noun is a boy. So this cow kicked a boy, it changes to this cow kicked him. Then the next sentence, children are playing with my grandfather. Children are playing with my grandfather. Again, we have children there in the position of subject, and we have grandfather in the position of object in our sentence. Therefore, when we replace the noun in the position of object with a pronoun, an object pronoun, then we shall say children are playing with him. Last example there, I gave my book to John and Annette. I gave my book to John and Annette. So I is the pronoun, subjective pronoun. Then John and Annette, they are nouns in the position of object. So I will replace John and Janet, John and Annette with an object pronoun, and it will become I gave my book to them. So you can see how we have used each of these object pronouns. And remember, object pronoun or objective pronouns are pronouns that are used in the place of an objective noun, or noun in the place of an object in our sentence. After that, we come to the last part, possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns. We shall start by defining what possessive pronoun is, and again list them here under first person singular plural, second person singular plural, and finally third person singular and plural. Possessive pronoun. Now, what is possessive pronoun? Possessive pronoun are pronouns that are used to show possession, or rather we can say possessive pronouns are pronouns that are used to show that something belongs to someone, or someone also belongs to someone. For instance, you can say, I belong to my parent. My parent belongs to me. Or an item like a book. A book belongs to me. A shirt belongs to me. So showing that possession or belongingness, we use a possessive pronoun to give that possession. That means now, if you are asked about a possessive pronoun, it's simply to possess, to show that something belongs to somebody or to something. Now, which are these examples of possessive pronouns that show that something belongs to somebody or something belongs to something, or somebody belongs to somebody. We shall start again with first person, singular, plural, then second person, singular, plural, and finish with a third person, singular and plural. We want to show now possession. First person is me, the one speaking or talking to you. I want to show that something belongs. To show possession, like I have this felt pen. I will say, this is my felt pen. This is my felt pen. I'm showing possession, belongingness. This felt pen belongs to me. So it is my felt pen. Or I cannot say, this felt pen is mine. That is possessive pronoun. This is my felt pen. Therefore, this felt pen is mine. Then first person plural. It is we talking. We who are here, and we are now many. We can say, this is our felt pen. This is our felt pen. Or if there are many, these are our felt pens. And these felt pens are ours. These are our felt pens, and these felt pens are ours. We are many. First person. This is my felt pen. These are our felt pens. This felt pen is mine. These felt pens are ours. First person. If I want to show now the second person, possession on the second person, I will say, now I'm talking to you, a person next to me, and I will say, this is your felt pen. This is your felt pen. And so this felt pen is yours. That is in singular. This is your felt pen, and this felt pen is yours. You can take it. In plural, you are many people. I will say, these are your felt pens. These are your felt pens, and so these felt pens are yours. Then you come to third person, singular. I want to show that this felt pen belongs to somebody who is not close to me. It is not me. It's not this person close to me, the second person. It is the third person who is very far, maybe at home or elsewhere, who is not me. So I will say, I give an example of my brother. This is his felt pen. This is his felt pen. This felt pen is his. An example using my sister, who is not here. I'm referring to her. This is her felt pen. And so, this felt pen is hers. I want to refer to an animal, a plant, or a non-living organism. Let me talk again about my dog. This is its felt pen. This is its felt pen. Suppose maybe I say this is now a puppy. This duster. Let me take this duster to be a puppy. And I'll say this is its puppy, it belongs to my dog. This puppy is its. Some people usually put here an apostrophe. It is a mistake. When you use a possessive pronoun on the word its or on pronoun its, don't use an apostrophe. So you can see third person singular, we have his, her or hers, then its. Then we come to the plural. Let me take my brother, my sister, and my pet. This is their felt pen. This is their felt pen, and this felt pen is theirs. Now, this takes us to this possessive pronouns. It takes us to the last part of possessive pronouns, and having known this, we now look at the examples and replace the nouns that we have with the possessive pronoun. We have the first one. The teacher took John's pencil. The teacher took John's pencil. That's a pencil belonging to John, and John is a male human being. It becomes the teacher took his pencil. So the possessive pronoun there is his. Number two, boys painted the dog's tail very well. I want to show that the tail belongs to the dog. So the possessive pronoun for showing that the tail belongs to the dog, we shall say boys painted its tail very well. Number three, we visited my aunt's nephew in the office. We visited my aunt's nephew. This is the nephew of my aunt. So when we change it, it becomes we visited her nephew in the office. Then, second last, the doctor treated Mercy's and Maureen's sons. The doctor treated Mercy's and Maureen's sons. These are sons belonging to Mercy and to Maureen. They are many. Sons belonging to Mercy and Maureen. When we replace those two nouns with a possessive pronoun, we say the doctor treated their sons. Then finally, the lorry hit Timothy's head. The lorry hit Timothy's head. This is the head belonging to Timothy. When we replace, we shall say the lorry hit his head. That brings us to the end of possessive pronouns. So remember I said when we started, we have subject pronoun. This is a pronoun used in the place of a subject. Then we came to object or objective pronoun, and we said it is a pronoun used in the place of an object. And finally, we've concluded here or finished by looking at possessive pronoun and said this is a pronoun that shows possession, and possession simply means belonging to. Therefore, we show what belongs to what, or who belongs to who. As we conclude, let's look at the table that shows the compiled summary of all these pronouns put together in a table on our screen, where we have, as we can see, that is the summary of the pronouns, and the first column shows pronouns. Below pronouns we have first person, second person, and third person. Then each of them is grouped into singular and plural. Singular and plural. For example, the first one is subject pronouns, and as we looked, and we have here subject pronoun first person, singular is I, plural we. Second person, singular is you, plural is you. When we come to third person, subject pronouns, singular we have he, she, and it. Then for plural we have they. The next column we have object or objective pronouns, and these are pronouns that are used in the place of an object. For singular first person, we have me, then plural first person, we have us. Second person singular, we have you. Second person plural, we also have you. Then third person singular, we have him, her, and it. Third person plural, we have them. The last column, which talks about possessive pronouns, we have first person singular, we have my. Remember I said my felt pen, and I said this felt pen is mine. So we have my and mine. Under plural column, we have our and ours. When you come to second person singular under possessive pronouns, we have your and yours. This is your pen. This pen is yours. When you come to plural of second person possessive pronouns, again we have your and yours. Last but not least, third person singular under possessive pronouns, we have his, we have her, we have its, and we have hers. This pen is hers. This pen is his. This is her pen. Then plural of third person possessive pronouns, we have their. This is their pen. This pen is theirs. We have their and theirs. And having looked at that summary table, it brings us to the end of our lesson today, which has been on pronouns as our strand, and the substrand has been subject pronoun, object pronoun, and possessive pronoun. Hope you get all well through your revision, and when you go over it over and over again, you will be able to understand and you have it correctly used in day-to-day life as we used English. Thank you for being my viewer and my listener, and until next time, thank you for being here with me today in this lesson. Thank you very much.